It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show.
Activate beast mode, I just hit cheat code. Gotta say niggas want Rico. Ayy, I was on TiVo, green dot reload. About to touch down like Tizo. Ayy, stunning like Steve-O, simple like free throw. Juice color like Nigo. Ayy, whip got soup like miso. Ayy, nigga take L like default. Ride through the city, no gas. I be floating on the track, no rail. Okay. Never did art. I just need cheese for the craft for a front. I don't put it on tab. Never tell move smart. Probably went to school with your dad. Now they got me saying rules in the class. I'm just trying to do my part. Nigga walk smooth like Shaft. Wanna see me come through for the back. I got my 808 dumping when I'm cruising through the street. We just vibing, niggas riding, hit the spot like 10 deep. I need my squad on my back. We ain't no game, but they my peeps. I need like 20K at least. I'm just trying to keep the peace. Okay.
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well out there today. In this particular show, we're going to be getting into Elliot Wilson from The Bigger Picture and him describing how he found himself on the Drake op list. All right. So, of course, we know about a year ago when all of this came down the pipeline with the beef between Kendrick and Drake, the little entry from J. Cole bowing out. And of course, there was another whole sequence of side missions of other artists that wanted to do diss records back and forth around the same time. But this was the main event, right? But in the midst of all of this happening, Elliot Wilson caught himself being caught up in the middle between both camps, right? Throughout Drake's career, he was somebody who Drake trusted in the form of a journalist, probably has the most Drake interviews out of most journalists in the music industry. And they had a pretty decent rapport, but as the battle unfolded, he called Elliot Wilson a rat, right? And being that Elliot Wilson was living in California during the duration of the battle, which in California is more close in territory to Kendrick and TDE and things of that nature, he assumed that Elliot Wilson was, I guess, gallivanting around with that side. Like, you chose a side, you rolling with them, you part of that inner circle. So now you with them. You don't get access to me no more, right? Kendrick Lamar does the Not Like Us music video. Elliot shows up. Kendrick says, "You a rat." You know what I mean? So he wasn't really getting too much insight from either party, right? However, in this latest episode of The Bigger Picture with Elliot Wilson, Jeremy Hecht, and DJ Head, they do their entire rundown of all of the songs that happened in the beef, all of the surrounding stories and all of that. So it's a full recap of everything that took place. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the segment where Elliot Wilson delves deeper into the mindset of Drake, the communication between himself and Drake. He shows screenshots of their conversation. And, you know, at the time, this is right before Family Matters dropped. Like, Push Ups is out, Euphoria is out, 616 in LA is out. And Elliot Wilson is one of the people in the industry who is projecting that Drake will have something out by the end of the week within that 24 to 48 hour window, because Drake was known for upholding that 48-hour window, which is why Meek Mill was counted out of their battle, right? Back to Back was hinged upon, it's been 48 whole hours. You ain't said nothing since I dropped my last one. Now we on your head, right? And he was named the victor. So we'll go ahead and get into Elliot at that point, anticipating what ended up being Family Matters and how he founded himself on the op list.
That maybe the first couple episodes, but this is what you actually said to reach out to Drake. You know, this isn't the whole convo, but you said, what made you want to reach out to him at 4:10 p.m. and say tonight?
The rumors that Family Matters was coming, that his response was coming.
And where'd you hear rumors of that?
Like, it was on the internet. It clearly, he clearly was, to me, like he was baiting Kendrick for those weeks that he wanted to drop a record, which we knew was, I didn't know it was called Family Matters,
Yeah.
but you felt he was going to respond. Like, and again, the 24, 48-hour rule feel like, well, okay, he has to respond to Euphoria. And if he doesn't respond to that, he's dropping another record baiting him with 616. So you feel like Drake's going to drop something. It was a Friday. You feel like Drake's going to drop something for the weekend. Like, he's not going to go the weekend without responding.
Mm-hmm.
So it was more like, is it going to come out tonight? Is it going to come out over the weekend? Like, when is it going to drop? And it was just a furor on the internet. Like, when is Drake responding to Kendrick? Because now Kendrick is on the offensive. So it's like, when's Drake going to drop this? Because there was a hype of it being the red button. Like, he has this button to push. This Punch said in the interview also. Like, the idea is that Drake has this thing that's such a secret, strong back-to-back kind of record that he has the finisher record in his tuck. That's what he's sitting on. That he has the hot hand at that time to end this or stop it. So
then what were your thoughts? Drake replies, "Man, I know you out there in Venice. Stop asking me questions, LOL." And you put aha, but like, what were you kind of like, what's going on here?
That didn't make sense.
All right, so here is the DM thread between Drake and Elliot Wilson at that time. Now, I don't know what's above where he says tonight, but you can see Elliot Wilson sent him a message on May 3rd saying, "Hey, you dropping tonight?" Drake says, "Man, I know you out there in Venice. Stop asking me questions," right? And of course, Venice in Cali. I believe Alchemist has studios out there. So it was perceived that Kendrick might have been in that studio and that Elliot would have been in the studio with them. So he says, "Stop asking me questions. You trying to get the one up to serve info to Kendrick," which again, all of the tropes of leaked information, people putting money out, Drake namely putting money out in LA to try to get information about Kendrick and his whereabouts and God knows what else he might have been trying to dig into. Right? We get 616 in LA with Kendrick saying, what if OVO is working for me? All of this type of stuff. So at this point, Drake is like, "Yo, don't ask me nothing. I'm not giving information out to nobody because I don't even know who I can even trust with the information that's available. This dude talking about his people in my camp that's snaking me out. He's doing the checks and balances, trying to see who the hell is doing what, if anyone. People are out here pointing the finger at Boy Wonder. People are saying that the sample in 616 in LA sounds like a subliminal message about Boy Wonder being the mole." So he's looking around left to right like, man, fuck everybody. Can't see, can't walk, fuck everybody. Walk up in the club, fuck everybody. Right? Elliot Wilson replies, "Hi," which is an interesting response. I ain't gonna lie. Because you don't confirm or deny what you doing. You just say hi, like, "All right, nigga, you think that's what I'm doing? LOL." He say, "Rat." Elliot comes back and says, "Huh? What you say fuck me for?" Which, of course, originates from 50 Cent. But at that point, he says, "Yo, you out in Cali. You probably in the studio with them niggas. You getting to hear these records first. Anything I tell you is liable to come up in the next record he drops. Nah, dog, I'm cutting you off. You a rat." Right? We'll continue.
Until the Hard Part 6 came out and him saying that you're in the Venice studio. Because I do think that he thought from the raps that Kendrick was in New York working on these records, right? And wasn't in LA. And then I think they put a picture of Alchemist and him in the studio, which was an old picture. And then I think he thought Meet the Grams, Alchemist produced, so he's in Venice working, like in that area. Ellie lives in Venice. So then I'm roped in like I'm in the studio celebrating with these niggas. Like, I don't know what's going on. I never heard anything about anything till it came out. Just like, I had a total fan experience of this whole battle. I heard the records when y'all heard the records. I knew nothing that was coming or not pause, and I knew nothing was going to happen until I heard the songs. I'm just asking like that. Like, I want to hear the song.
Do you think 616 actually kind of got in his head a little bit where he didn't know who to trust? And like now you're somehow on a list of like, I can't trust this person?
Yeah. And he empowered other people. That's when the classic stay on stream happens, right? He tells Kai Cenat, get on stream tonight. He tells academics to leave the Andrew Schultz show and go home and get on stream. Stay on stream. And he sends Maul the little button to you asked Maul about this.
Yeah.
Maul putting his little button out. So I was part of those rollouts. I told the world, if you're reading This Is Too Late is the real title, those fucking certified lover boy banners across the cities when it came out. I've been part of like helping him roll out projects of him sending stuff that he wants out to the world.
We're gonna get back to that. But what I do find interesting is the speculation of where Kendrick actually was in the midst of the battle, right? Because Drake is assuming that Kendrick's in the New York apartment, coming up with triple entendres and all this type of stuff. But then 1 minute people think he's in LA, which I do believe he was in LA based on the context clues that I've been paying attention to, especially the fact that you had people like Daylight who were around. You had Punch who said he flew back home from Australia, and home is certainly not New York for him. So definitely think he was in LA. Not to mention everything that was circulating around the battle. Seems like he probably would have been there. But Drake believed that he was in his penthouse in New York. You had this whole Ebony Prince thing, which there was information and the whole Meet the Grams 616 artwork and where that came from, when Kendrick may have come into possession with those things, if he even had it. Seems to me he was sent a screenshot of what he could have received, and I think Ebony Prince wanted a certain amount of money, and Kendrick said, I ain't paying you a motherfucking thing. This photo's good. This photo's good enough, homie. Ebony Prince is still out here to this day, still trying to capture clout off of it. I see people are following him. He got a Patreon where he's still slow leaking out information, trying to relate back to the journalist who was allegedly, I don't know what they're trying to say happened between himself and Drake. The journalist came out and said nothing happened. He listened to some beats and everybody went on their way. I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know if he heard some beats, caught the beats, or what, right? But there is some sort of nefarious play that's been alluded to from Ebony Prince. He went to the pop out still holding the motherfucking shirt and flag and all that shit. But so much bizarro stuff happened. We don't know where the fuck Kendrick was. I don't know if he was taking flights back and forth or what. But apparently that also played into some of Drake's paranoia, right?
So I know the game. It's like he's now picking certain people, but now I'm on the op list all of a sudden. But again, I was on the op list because we had to fall off over the Bobby interview, and then the Bobby what's the name interview.
Tough, yeah.
But then we did squash it. We got cool again. So I was surprised that all of a sudden I'm back on the op list in this aggressive way of calling me a rat. Like I have any information to give to anybody.
Yeah, so then he sends the rat emoji. That's right before Family Matters, and are you like, have you put together this at all at that point? Or are you still like, what the hell is going on?
He's saying, fuck off, Elliot, and I'm about to end this battle tonight. And, maybe thought I was, because the thing is, everybody knew I always kind of favored Drake over Kendrick. Yeah. The TD probably knows, right? Like I thought I go with the bigger guy, the bigger star. I love Kendrick, but I also thought Drake was the bigger star, the greater artist. Now we're in a dot era, my view has changed. But at that time, I think Drake was feeling himself like, fuck everybody. And I'm so confident in this record I'm about to drop. You chose a side, fuck off, and watch me end this shit tonight with this record. That was the energy.
I think it's a mistake that Elliott is sharing this because it's not something that, the world, he probably, this is a personal DM, you know what I'm saying? I get it, but I just don't do that or believe in that a lot of.
Now I see where DJ Head is coming from, as it is of course a personal message, private conversation, but the contents of that conversation are not that deep. He didn't show the entire text thread. He didn't show like everything that they talked about in confidence, album rollout, or come to this place, to come here, studio session, and all this type of shit. All we got is 3 fucking texts that were already screenshotted. The last 2 texts was already out for a year, so it ain't like it was hidden information that we're just like, oh my god, the shit was already out there. He just showed us like an extra text or two from the conversation. And Drake be leaking out texts. The DJ that don't spin be leaking out Drake texts. The Asian Grand Wizard be leaking out texts. Like, it is what it is, man. Everything seems to be for public consumption from that other side anyway. So it really don't fucking matter.
Time. But when Family Matters came out, also to back up to the DM, what do you living in Venice have to do with anything?
I just think he thought that you're in that. It's in the Ocean. The part 6. He says you're in that Venice studio celebrating. I just think he thought that I'm now in Kendrick's camp. I have some awareness of what he's doing, where he's recording music at that time. That's the only way I could have received it.
Because of the
yeah.
I know.
And I think he thought the Alchemist thing, being on that side of town, that he's in the studio with Alchemist. Meanwhile, that was a beat he been had, as you know, right? So again, I don't know where Kendrick was recording these records, but I just think there's something that triggered his mind of like, I thought he was in Brooklyn. He's not with his woman anymore. He's in Brooklyn writing records, and now he's in California writing records.
Well, and it's weird too that some people were blaming like, oh, they conspired. They made a show to go against Drake. The show we recorded after Not Like Us had come out, and Head didn't get a call until the day Not Like Us came out, or that maybe after that day. So like, to think that Head is the one feeding Elliott information from Kendrick's camp like doesn't make any logical sense.
All right, so that's Elliot Wilson, Jeremy Hecht, and DJ Head from The Bigger Picture talking about how Elliott found himself on the op list right before Drake dropped Family Matters, right? Now, of course, there's a lot of talk about this Family Matters record. There's a lot of Drake fans out there that still feel like Family Matters is the strongest diss record that came out of the entire anthology of disses between Kendrick and Drake. I definitely disagree. And this is coming from somebody who was extremely objective in the battle. I've been getting a lot of comments from Drake lovers that just don't like me. They're trying to call me all types of failed rapper, all type of shit like that, because they feel like my reporting leans towards Kendrick, which, if that's how you feel, that's not going to change. That's just the tone that I speak in. That's my opinion. And I've always favored Kendrick over Drake throughout the entire duration of their careers. Okay? But nonetheless, I'm somebody who actually enjoyed push-ups. Right? When it came out, I fucked with it. Right? Now there was speculation around the original version of push-ups, right? Was it AI? Why was it not properly mixed? What the hell was going on with that? The beat was a little bit different. Then later in the day, we get the official different beat. Certain lines that were in the original were taken out and changed and modified. The last verse was a little bit longer in the original. Things got taken out that should have probably stayed in it. Right? But I enjoyed the record. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know how he was going to come. I didn't know what type of angle he was going to take. Drop and Give Me 50. It wasn't the smartest angle, right? Because you start talking about people having a 50% stake in his career after leaving the label, which is like, okay, you're trying to say that he has like a sunset clause in his contract where Top Dog is still eating on him, even though he's no longer at the company anymore, which I highly doubt. I mean, what? Especially since Mr. Morale came out in 2022, there's no way in 2024 he would still be eating. Well, depending, right? Because some people do get put in 18-month, 24-month sunset clauses in the industry. So maybe that's what he was assuming. But then again, when your contract splits have been under the watchful eye of consumers, fans, and industry insiders alike for years, people have always wondered what the fuck was going on with your shit. I remember the first talks of Drake's contract being probably 2012 when Jazz Prince first filed a motion saying, hey, y'all niggas are trying to cut me out the deal. People was like, what the hell? And then Pusha T and everybody, you know what I'm saying, started trickling down. So it's like a person with funny contract dealings shouldn't be out here trying to make fun of somebody with funny contract dealings. You know what I mean? I don't see how that works. Right? But I thought it was a decent record. It was enjoyable. I thought that Family Matters, for the most part, was an enjoyable record when it dropped. Did I feel like it was enough? No. Because he was caught in the mindset of 20v1. This ain't no 20v1, homie. You addressed everybody on the first song, on push-ups. This is supposed to be about Kendrick. You get on the second beat of Family Matters talking about it's a joke, but I take this serious. Let me stop playing around and get serious with you niggas. And then you continue to take shots at everybody else in the industry that didn't like you. And you just threw a couple random shots at Kendrick like he was insignificant to the whole thing when he's the reason why all of this even happened. That nigga said, fuck the big three, nigga, bomb. All your dogs getting buried. It's okay with all these nines. You're going to see Pet Cemetery. All this type of shit. You a goofy with a check, right? Like he took direct shots at you in a 16-bar verse. Yeah, them other niggas is them other niggas. I'm still confused as to why Drake took time out of his day to diss Rick Ross, right? Although I understand that they had a working relationship over the years. They had hot records together. Rick Ross, got a lot of career longevity out of working with Drake. I didn't feel like it was the right time for him to be so focused on what Rick said, right? For him to be going back and forth on record with The Weeknd, who just did a fucking falsetto diss towards you. Why would you even diss a nigga that did that when you have arguably the top rapper in the game? And we're talking about rapper, the fucking critically acclaimed Pulitzer Prize winning rapper, dissing your head, and you only got a couple little stray shots going at him. I feel like that was a huge misstep. And outside of the fake ass, weak ass DV allegations, I thought the record was, for the most part, enjoyable. I thought he packed out the rest of them niggas, right? But at the same time, he was not aiming at the primary target. He was basically just and I guess that's what he thought was his red button, to be like, I'm finna fuck all you niggas over. And it's like, no. The real threat is sniping your ass. He just picking you apart. While you trying to get in hand-to-hand combat with the rest of these niggas, you really need to be going at who keeps shooting you every time you think you rearing your fist back. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he just made a lot of bad moves. But if you're a Drake fan and you can't acknowledge that he should have focused on his primary target, then you're part of the reason why Homeboy didn't put out his best outing. You know what I'm saying? And you could say I'm not objective or whatever it is that you want to say, but if you're his fan for real, you saw him take this crazy ass loss, insurmountable damage to his fucking his reputation, as he claims. He's got a whole lawsuit out filled with quotables from this nigga's songs. And y'all can't say, man, you probably should have had more bars aimed at Kendrick Lamar. Right? These words go over your head no matter what I say. Short jokes ain't enough when a nigga just picked apart your character for 6 minutes. That don't make no sense. And you should really be saying that retroactively a year later with everything that we've seen. So if you mad at me, be mad at yourself and be mad at your savior. You should look up, you should go type 6 in on your phone and send a motherfucking text message and say, why didn't you go harder on Kendrick on Family Matters? And why did you put lies in the verse that caused all of this personal, non-rap material to come out with this whole PDF thing? Since that's the the bane of his existence at this point. He's claiming he's losing money, losing opportunities, losing endorsements. He's trying to sue the label. He's trying to audit the label. He wants to see every artist under the UMG umbrella's contract, including Kendrick, but not only Kendrick, but everyone. But y'all have nothing to say about that. Y'all are not mad about that. But y'all are mad at me. It's time to get your head checked. Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Become an insider. I will catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be good out there. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they died of me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but you run no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.